Hi everyone. So let's do a spread for what are you manifesting. I like to do these every once in a while because we're always manifesting, whether we know it or not. And so it's good to check to see what kinds of things are coming in for us. And also for those of you who are intentionally manifesting, this is a good way to check to see if you're on the right track. And so that we can always pivot if we're not manifesting in what we actually want. So I'm going to start with a planet dice to see what energy we should be working with. And we got the North Node. We have been rolling the North Node every single time lately. So I feel it without fail, it's been the North Node. And the North Node is about your purpose. It's about the things you have faith in, that you don't really know where you're going, but you're being guided there because it's what you're meant to do. So I love this. If you are manifesting your North Node path, then there is no better path better than that. But let's see what the tarot has to say. I have 2 tarot decks, 2 oracle decks, and we're going to do a 4-layered spread. So there's the 6 of Wands, Justice, the World, the Emperor, a lot of majors, 3 of Swords. Underneath, 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, 5 of Cups, High Priestess, Ace of Wands. Underneath everything is the Page of Wands. So I'm going to stop right here because for those of you who have been watching my readings for a while now or at all, you'll know that I sometimes get messages from people who have passed, people from the other side, people who were in your life but are no longer in your life in the 3D realm. Messages that come through from them, and I'm definitely getting that in this spread right now. So we're getting this message that looks like it's coming from a Page of Wands. So this could be someone who was in your life that was very adventurous, someone who was not afraid to take risks, someone who tried new things, could even be a young energy with the Page. But let's keep going with this so we can see what the message is that wants to come through. Let's get some of these Prism oracles. So there's comfort, confidence, passion, stop, happiness, and pain. I'm already starting to understand this message, but I would like to get some more. There's growth underneath this deck. I'd like to get 6 of these tarot cards. So we have Page of Wands again, so we're definitely going to take that. I feel like that's confirming what we are talking about here. 2 of Swords, 9 of Cups, 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, the Tower. Underneath this deck is the Queen of Swords. And then we're going to get 2 of these. And then let's really get into this message that really wants out. So there's the Handshake and there's the Scythe. And underneath this deck is the Eye. So I was already getting a message that this person wishes they had pursued more of their own desires and less of other people's. So what do I mean by that? I think this person felt like they didn't follow their dreams, follow their North Node while they were here and while they could. And so the message for you is that. But let's go through this one by one so I don't miss anything and I don't jump to any conclusions. But I feel like this person with the 6 of Wands and comfort, and especially because they're showing up as the Page of Wands twice, I do feel like they were very successful. They were very happy. Their heart chakra looks like it was very open and full. The 6 of Wands is a card of victory and happiness and success and recognition. And we see the eye here too. So they were probably recognized for the things that they did, or people just thought they were very good at what they did, if they were successful in whatever they did for a living, or if they were successful as an athlete or a scholar, or make this make sense for you. But it feels like they lived a very comfortable and happy and successful life. But there's something here about their work, because it's the Eight of Pentacles and stop. So there was some kind of a loss when it came to something they were working on. Maybe they were right in the middle of working on something and it came to a halt. So if this kind of tells you who we are talking about, then that could be a clue as to what that is. It feels to me like they were stuck. So it feels like they had something good going, but then I almost feel like they stopped themselves. So make that make sense for you. But it does feel, again, like their life was very balanced, very happy. They pursued things. This has a very light-hearted feel because they are showing up as the Page of Wands twice. So again, I get this sense, and especially with comfort, that they were perhaps funny, or they brought lightness to the situation. Perhaps they were just the person who lit up the room when they walked in the room. That's what I'm getting from that. But then with the 10 of Cups and the 5 of Swords, it feels again like this stop energy where they perhaps had a family, but they sabotaged it, or they got in their own way. I keep getting that with stop. And now with 5 of Swords, it's like they did it to themselves. So this is like solving a puzzle. So bear with me. But it was like some relationship that made them very happy came to an end. It was like they, instead of growing from the situation, they just didn't allow themselves to be happy. So I think just putting these two columns together, it feels like they had an opportunity to be happy, but they sabotaged it. That they didn't allow themselves to grow in a situation. They really didn't see their inner truth. They didn't see themselves the way that perhaps other people saw them. Like they felt like they just didn't deserve the happiness and the comfort that they were given. So I think with the World, Confidence, 2 of Swords, and the handshake, I think that the lesson that they learned or have learned now that they're past, I just got that, with the World, with Confidence, is to allow people into your life that make you happy instead of pushing them away, instead of being stuck. Because they were such a light bringer, because I'm getting that they really brought a lot of light to people, that they denied themselves that same lightness. They denied themselves the relationships that they really could have brought them the happiness. But again, it feels like they were really self-sabotaging and wouldn't allow themselves to be happy. But now that they see things from a different perspective, they're seeing that that's where they went wrong, that they should have allowed this relationship to bloom. Whoever their 10 of Cups is, whoever, perhaps it's family, perhaps it's love relationships, perhaps it's children or siblings, they sabotaged it while they were here, and they see now what they did wrong. With the 5 of Cups, happiness, 5 of Wands, and the Scythe, it's the same energy of whenever things are going good with happiness, they sabotage it with the 5 of Wands and the Scythe card, that they won't allow themselves, or they didn't allow themselves to have that happiness, that comfort that was right there. They had it in their grasp, but they would mess it up, and it feels like they would do it intentionally. They would just let it go, or move on, or walk away, or play games, or fight, or whatever that is, but it always left them feeling disappointed. So the Five of Wands and the Scythe is often a combination of arguments and saying things you don't mean. And so I feel like this person might have been mean in the relationships they were in because they were just sabotaging their own happiness and their own growth. So the Emperor and the Nine of Cups is telling me that they wish that they had focused more on their own dreams, that part of why they perhaps didn't love themselves, or perhaps they didn't really pay attention to how successful they were or the successes they could have had, was part of that self-sabotaging nature. And this is now becoming more of the message I was getting at the beginning, where it feels like this person wishes they would have followed their dreams more. So I believe not only were they self-sabotaging in their interpersonal relationships, but I think they were self-sabotaging when it comes to their own dreams and what they wanted to do, and perhaps businesses they wanted to start or passion projects they wanted to start. They never expanded, but they had an opportunity with the Emperor and the Nine of Cups to have everything they wanted, but they didn't allow themselves to do that. I can see that they were very good at what they did. We have the Six of Wands and the Eye, but they wouldn't allow themselves to do it. They just stopped their growth at every turn, no matter what part of their life we're talking about. They really just stopped themselves from having happiness and success. The High Priestess in the Tower is telling me that they never listened to their intuition, and that's why everything went wrong. They sabotaged themselves because they didn't listen to their intuition. They were the one who lit up the room. They were full of love, full of clarity, full of awareness. They knew exactly what they were doing when they burned it all down. And it's because they didn't think that they deserved the happiness. So the message that they want to send to you with the Three of Swords and passion is, don't break your own heart. Follow your passion. Follow your North Node. Wherever your Nine of Cups is what they're saying to me. Whatever your Nine of Cups is, follow it. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your family members. I just got that. So maybe this is about family for some of you. Listen to your family members. If they know you're passionate about something, they may be giving you some advice about your North Node and where you're supposed to be going. But be careful not to break your own heart. Listen to others. Listen to your intuition, because there is something you're meant to do. We did roll the North Node, so that's pretty clear that there's something you're meant to do. And the Ace of Wands and pain. So these are essentially the same messages, right? So the Ace of Wands right here is the card of passion right here. And the Three of Swords right here is the card of pain right here. So these are repeating messages as far as I'm concerned, to not break your own heart. Whatever you are being called to do, whatever that new opportunity, inspiration, adventure, because we did say that this Page of Wands was a very adventurous person. They're saying they didn't follow that. They didn't follow their North Node. This page is meant to go down a different road, but they didn't do that. They stopped themselves. They blocked themselves from fulfilling their own dreams. And they're really imploring you not to do that. Don't block your own dreams. Don't block your own passions. Don't block your own intuition. In fact, what this Ace of Wands and passion are telling me is to nourish that, grow. We have growth underneath this deck. They're really urging you to grow and fulfill that passion, expand, focus on yourself, find your soul, find your passion, follow it, because they have so many deep regrets about not doing that themselves while they were here. And perhaps you are struggling with knowing what to do, whether or not you should follow your passion. And if that's the case, then this is definitely your message. So there you go. That was an unexpected message from a passed on loved one. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? Consider subscribing to the channel if you like my vibe, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.